dance for joy or loss.
Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Reviews, the series where we look at practical and sensible cars that you can buy for a budget of between £1,000 and £5,000. This is a 2016 Fiat 500X Cross 1.4 Multiair automatic. But is it any good? Should you care? Let's find out, shall we? So the Fiat 500X was launched at the same time as the Jeep Renegade in 2015. That's not really a surprise because the Jeep Renegade and the Fiat 500X are pretty much the same car underneath. They're both built, I think, in Italy, and they share a lot of the same running gear. The base engine, when the car was launched, was a 1.6 normally aspirated petrol known as the e-torque, which actually dates back to the old BMW and Chrysler Tritec engine from the early 2000s. That generated 108 horsepower. This 1.4 Multiair engine, which is actually the old fire unit dating back to the mid-80s, although heavily modified since then, of course. There were two sets of tune. One was 138 horsepower, and the other, which I think was only available with automatic transmission, is this 167 brake horsepower version, which also came with four-wheel drive, although that's not available anymore. In late 2018, the engines were replaced by two completely new units known as the Firefly engines in 1 litre and 1.3 geysers. The lower one generated 118 horsepower. I say generated because the engines aren't available anymore in this car. And then the 1.3, 148 horsepower. In 2022, all the engines were replaced, even ones we can't talk about, and we'll come to those in a moment. And they were replaced with a single powertrain option, a 1.5 hybrid engine with 128 horsepower, which remains on sale to this day. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. Here we are, viewers, once again on the roads around Chelmsford. It looks very wintry because it is. We just entered the 60-mile-an-hour speed limit. Unfortunately, once again, the traffic is a bit too heavy for me to exploit the power of this car. It feels quite urgent, this engine. It's similar to the one that's used in things like the Abarth 595 and things like that. Actually, it would feel very secure indeed if you had one of these during the winter, because we've got the four-wheel drive system with the mode selector down here. Even got like a sport mode, which I might put it into a little bit later. But yeah, it feels comfortable enough. It feels surprisingly enough similar to a Jeep Renegade to drive. I think I prefer the seating position of this to the Renegade though. There's actually a lot of adjustment in the seat. You can go all the way up, all the way down, and down is how I prefer it. Let's go round this roundabout and see what happens. So do we get loads of body roll? Actually, no, we don't. It's remarkably sort of flat. Actually, that's really good. I'm impressed with that, because right, it's a bit clearer on that road. We'll have to blast up there a little bit later on. So we've got some proper sort of low winter sun going on. It's only 2:30 in the afternoon. Better not film any more cars today, viewers, otherwise we'll be doing it in the dark. But actually this is showing one of the sort of best things about one of these cars, is either you really like the styling or not. It's quite bold. I personally don't think it's too bad. There's a lot of ground clearance on this particular model. Maybe it's because it's got the four-wheel drive system. But yeah, we actually do have some parking sensors on this. Wasn't quite sure if we did, but you definitely need them, or reversing camera that comes standard on the brand new ones. Actually even got a nice sort of flat little exhaust, a bit like the standard 500, although there's no common parts really between one of those, unless you're counting the engine, which is used in this tune in some of the Abarth models. So we'll open up and have a look. Hopefully my dealer plate doesn't fall out again. No, that's nicely wedged in. So yeah, this cross model actually has a space saver spare tyre. That's fantastic. Unfortunately, there is a boot floor. It looks like it will adjust, but with this kit in it, I don't think so. I think you'd have to get the car with one of those tyre inflation kits to drop this floor down, because you can't do it in this. But it looks good enough. We've got boot light in there. Can't see any point to charge it. No, I don't think so. No, there are some tethering points though. It's about 350 litres, which compared with something like, I don't know, the Nissan Qashqai from the previous generation, which was launched a couple of years before this model came out, the boot is a little bit small. We'll have a look at the back as well. I like the fact we've got some nice sort of kind of sidewall on those tyres. That's very appropriate for a four-wheel drive model. Actually, the seat fabric is quite nice. I don't know if this is it's not full leather anyway, part genuine leather, or if it's Artico leather or something, but that's good. Also got some net on the back for putting things in a, wow, very, very big door bin with a bottle holder as well, and some nice kind of chunky interior door handles. So this seat is set for me. It's actually quite a long way back, and that is not too bad actually, considering it's a relatively compact 4x4 this, or SUV. Yeah, it's not really a sort of proper 4x4, is it? Although it has got four-wheel drive. Headroom is not as great as I was expecting. I think the Jeep actually might have a bit more headroom than this does, but that's okay. Do we get an armrest at the back? No, we don't. We get this sort of nice head restraints that are similar to the ones in the 500, of course. They're really going for that. You can see on the dash, it doesn't even say 500. Actually, it says 500, which is a very important brand for Fiat. I can't believe that 2007 type 500 is still being made, but it is. Yeah, there's not much else to say really. Unfortunately, it's all sort of a bit kind of dark, although the headliner is light, which is good. Very, very small windows in the back for a car like this. But we've got electric windows, which is good, excuse me. Nice big door mirrors, those are handy, aren't they? So, all on electric windows and electric mirrors and all sorts of things, and there's door locking buttons. No automatic lights in this one for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but never mind. And we've got a misfunction for the wipers, but I think they're just manual wipers as well. Never mind, I'm sure most of you don't really mind. Yeah, it's very nice and comfortable in here. The steering wheel feels good. Again, it's a similar one to, it's in something like the Fiat Tipo, I think, had a similar steering wheel to this as well. Got cruise control on this model, and nice sort of buttons here, with like the one for the start-stop system and also one for the hazard lights. Let's hope you don't need that in this car, viewers. I think also we've got an up glove box, which is brilliant, fantastic. And you can see this little tiny screen in the middle, tiny screen. Yeah, it's not the biggest I've ever seen, is it, viewers? Let's put the key in anyway and take a look at it in more detail. Okay, Fiat logo there. Yeah, Uconnect, which is the system they're using back in the day. Yeah, not much to say really. We've got media. There's a USB and aux input down here. Trip. Why the trip's not on there, I don't know, but never mind. That's strange. Phone. No paired devices. Apps. The most exciting apps you've got on your system are outside temperature and clock, then it's not really that exciting, is it? At least we're not going to spend too long in there. And then Actually, I don't know if I need to start the car to show this, but we can see that we've got engine in eco, 4-wheel drive in automatic steering and comfort. So if we move the selector there, we've got sport mode. Yes, that's better, isn't it? Engine performance, 4-wheel drive active and steering and sport. Yeah, the sport mode was good. So we go to automatic or normal. It's not the DNA system in an Alfa Romeo. Then go to the right hand one, which is traction. So we've now got a little thing on the dash which would show me which amount of the power is going to the front and the back. At the moment it's sending all the power to the front, trying to save fuel. But yeah, I mean, that's exciting, I suppose. We can't really film that whilst we're driving. Let's put it back into automatic. Actually, we'll just leave it there. Apart from that, I don't know if there's much else we can play with. Can we play with this little thing on the steering wheel? Yeah, there we go. Service, audio, alerts. Yeah, I have to do it. Tyre pressure, vehicle setup. I press OK to do vehicle setup. So we might have some safety features on here. But no, buzzer volume. That's rubbish, isn't it? Press the left-hand button to quit. Then there's not much else here at all. There's not much exciting. Right, so we better go back to something, mood selector. Why are they calling this a mood selector? It's a drive mode selector. Mood selector. Not really in the mood for that. See in a moment if my secret mission documents go in, but I'm not hopeful actually. In that particularly, I don't think they will. I think they'll go in the door pocket though, which is good. Yep, get them in there if I want to. Do we get soft touch at the top of the dash? Yes, we do. That's nice. Doors, no. Never mind. Oh, it's not too bad in here. Do the panoramic sunroof, which you could get on some of the earlier models, and actually the current one, you get a model called a Dolce Vita as like an option pack, which has the glass roof, which would be nice. Right, let's have a look under the bonnet before we lose all this daylight. So here we have the 1.4 Multiair Turbo, in this case generating 167 horsepower. It's a bit tight in here, surprisingly, actually, considering you can get engines up to 2 litres, although we don't talk about those 2-litre engines on this channel, viewers. This is a camber engine, you do need to be aware of that, actually, with this. Pretty clean under here, though, considering this car is getting on for about 8 years old. It actually looks very well cared for, indeed. Yeah, I mean, if you have a 1 litre, you'd have a lot more room in here, wouldn't you? I think the starting of this early one looks okay. Obviously the facelift was sort of late 2018 for these, and the new hybrid model looks different again. But it's all down to personal preference really as to what you like. Anyway, let's stop wittering and go for another drive, shall we? One of the reviews that I read online in preparation for doing this said that the Fiat 500X was a really, really terrible car and it wasn't very nice to drive. Well, I'm driving it right now and I think this is fine. You know, it probably helps I've got the most powerful engine in this car that was ever available with the petrols. But the suspension feels compliant enough. There's not loads and loads of body roll like I was expecting. And it just feels pleasant for the kind of person who would buy a car like this, who's not likely to be interested particularly in the last word of performance and handling, and more likely to want a nice, comfortable, spacious car, which in this case have a little bit of off-road ability because we've got the 4-wheel drive system in this. So I've put it in sport, which I can't quite use. I'm going to put it back into the normal setting. I've also got like an off-road setting, which I might be able to try actually in a little bit, because the car park where we're filming is actually a sort of gravel one, and that might have some stuff in there, and see if that makes any difference to anything. So we actually adjust the steering, and we can adjust the engine and automatic 4-wheel drive system and all sorts of stuff. We can adjust all these things. But, you know, for me it just feels nice and comfortable. Driving position feels good. Also got a footrest because it was the automatic version. Yeah, it feels fine. Only thing I would say is this tiny little infotainment system up here, which would probably be fine in 2015 when this car was launched, now looks well, exceptionally dated. I would not particularly want to just have that these days. The more modern versions, particularly this new 1.5 hybrid that came out last year, that actually has a much better infotainment system. So let's put it back into the sport mode and see what happens. Ooh, oh my gosh. It's got a lot faster viewers. I was wondering why it seemed so slow. I think we know why. Let's put that in there. That's just the low fuel warning. I shouldn't have put it in sport mode, should I, viewers? That was a bad idea. So what we'll do now is we'll move it into the off-road mode. See if that makes a difference. Can we do it on the fly? Yes, we can. Oh, it slowed the car right down. And it actually tells me even how much power we're putting to the front and the back. We've actually got 50-50 split at the moment, though it depends on what the surface is. It's just driving here. Yeah, that feels nice to kind of put your gas nice and slowly. Reverse. Yeah, that feels just fine, although I'm not sure we've got any parking sensors or reversing camera, which, to be honest, you could do with, and I think all models of the 500X do come with one of those cameras now. Anyway, that's about it, really. Let's now look at some trim levels for the Fiat 500X, viewers, and there are an awful lot of them. I do not know why there are so many. So when the car was launched in 2015, we had things like the Cross, the Pop Star, and the Lounge. Later on, lots and lots of other trim levels. The 120th anniversary, the City Cross, the Club, the Connect, the Cross Plus, the Cross Plus Opening Edition, the Cross Plus Tech Safety Pack, the Hey Google. Why Fiat insist on making cars but they're called the Hey Google? I don't know. The Mirror, the Pop Plus, the Pop Star Opening Edition, the Pop Star Plus, the Pop Star Tech Pack, the Red, the S Design, the Sport, the Top, I don't know what that particularly does, and the Urban. That's an awful lot. So yes, you can get the Dolce Vita pack, which gives you an opening sort of full sunroof, I think, on the current models. So viewers, should you consider a Fiat 500X as a sensible second-hand car? Well, I don't think this car is that bad. I'm not really understanding why a lot of the contemporary reviews on this car are so bad. It's perfectly fine. It's just perhaps, you know, if you're buying a new one in 2023, it just feels a little bit dated because, you know, these were launched over 8 years ago now. So that might be something to do with it. As a second-hand buy, and you can pick these up for maybe starting about £4,000. Obviously do your checks properly. You'll be looking at a front-wheel drive model for that sort of money anyway, so that will be a bit less complicated than this one is, which I suppose is good in a way. But yeah, I mean, you either like this or you don't. There's so many other rivals, you know, Renault Captures and Nissan Dukes and Sanyong Tivolis and MGZSs and all sorts of things. So, you know, the decision's up to you. But anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Thank you to Simon and Dale at Langley Prestige in Chelmsford for letting me have a go in this today. And we shall see you again soon for more reasonably priced motoring.